Welcome back to the Mobile Mailbox Money Silvercrest Opportunity Fund channel. I'm Alden Guajardo, and I provide investors a passive rate of return in a note investment strategy in combination with manufactured housing. Affordable housing is one of the biggest needs in the nation right now, and for investors to be able to participate and in a much needed opportunity, providing the solution to affordable housing is once in a lifetime generational opportunity. I'm president of Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, and accredited investors could earn a 10 to 14% return backed by affordable housing, performing notes yielding 14 and 15%. We'll go over a case study today, but this is the mattress money strategy. One step better than putting money under the mattress. Why is that? Because it's bank quality stability, but spinning off above average returns backed by performing collateral. So let me give you a real example of how this actually works in the field. We recently closed a deal in Mesa, Arizona inside Sierra Estates. In Sierra Estates, I actually have another project going on my most previous vlog where we partnered with a roofing and construction company to do the rehab as we package these homes to a turnkey quality collateral and performing borrowers that buy these properties. So in the same park, we've done upwards of $2 million in transactions on this case study today with Lot 32 in Sierra Estates. You can actually see on vlog 68 some during rehab of this property that's currently performing in the Silvercrest portfolio. We bought the property, rehabbed it, put it out to a turnkey product, underwrote the buyer borrower to Dodd-Frank compliance, creating a bank quality position, yielding the fund 14%. And my accredited investor will earn a 10% interest only return for a 1-year term paid monthly, or a 12% interest only return paid quarterly for a 3-year term. This note, 89.9, currently performing in my portfolio, cash flowing 30 days after my acquisition, $966 a month. Where can you get a property for under $90,000 cash flowing almost $1,000 a month? That answer is virtually non-existent. You can see, on vlog 64, we actually did another property in this community that we show on this video seen before you. How did we acquire this home and get it to the finish line? Well, we acquired it from an individual who, make sure I'm still sharing my screen, perfect, was in pretty much big distress off major cross streets of Ellsworth and Broadway. Had some leaks in their roof when they owned this home, a couple major things that needed to get remediated. Didn't have the money, started falling behind on rent. The park, who's owned by Calliam Properties, is a $100 million company, and they referred him directly to us. We bought this property for, I think, $6,700 all in, excluding lot rent. Ended up putting like $40,000, $50,000 into this unit and exited for a $95,000 price point. The buyer borrower put a $5,000 down payment on this property, and at an 89.9 originated note, paid $966 a month. So we, on exit of this property to seller finance, not only made a margin of like 20, 30,000 bucks, but also parlayed that into a long-term note investment strategy. From acquisition to originating the note to servicing that transaction, Silvercrest guarantees those payments backed by 27 positions. We're currently receiving about $19,000 a month in passive cash flow, and that's all built and ran by the notes provided by Mobile Mailbox Money and Win Mobile Homes. Win Mobile Homes is the largest dealer of manufactured housing in Arizona, license 8670. We've done over 400 transactions. That's about $30 million in manufactured home sales, and 95% of those went via seller finance. So we had to raise the capital in order to do those transactions with a 2% default rate. For an individual living off of major cross streets of Ellsworth and Broadway, what's the likelihood of them going non-performing, at the end of the day? And that's risk mitigated through our underwriting. Non-performance is the risk within the strategy at the end of the day, but we do have some equity cushion within this transaction, as well as their underwriting, fitting FHA style lending criteria in order to facilitate the transaction. Not only that, getting their Dodd-Frank compliance and ability to repay, but also having the community vet their felony criteria. If they have any past criminal activity, that would disqualify them. Open bankruptcies would disqualify them. No past evictions. In a single family note, you could have an eviction and actually buy a single family property. So these people went through 2 rounds of underwriting, and not to sidetrack, these communities are quality communities and quality areas here in the Phoenix, Mesa, Tempe, Apache Junction areas. Some of these parks have baseball diamonds, really active communities and things of that nature, all great benchmarks when talking about why manufactured housing at the end of the day. So I'm Alden Guajardo, president of Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. For as low as $50,000 entry or $1 million, you could start cash flowing in as little as a 30-day program with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund 506C Reg D offering. Most people don't know you could invest your IRA, solo 401k, or really just personal investment if you're wanting to earn a return in as little as a 30-day program. 50,000 to $1 million. My objective is to do 10 million bucks in business next year, and that's all fueled by the capital that we actually raise in order to do these transactions at the end of the day. So this presentation, I did one actually earlier today using AI, is all in the want for additional deal flow, additional velocity. Most people, the lenders, are just the lenders. We're the operator. We're also the lender raising private capital, and you get to hitch your cart to a qualified operator in the Arizona market. A couple people watching the live here today. Appreciate you viewing. If you have any interest in anything as far as questions, further safety, further clarity needed, at the end of the day, don't hesitate to reach out to one of our dedicated sales associates at 602-888-2274. That's $89.9, $960 a month. Where else can you get a return like that out in the market? The answer is virtually non-existent. Following in the footsteps of industry magnates like Warren Buffett. One step closer to financial freedom. We call that mobile mailbox money. Join our live mastermind on Thursday, mobile mailbox money mastermind Thursdays at 1:00 Mountain Standard Time. You can sign up on our website in order to attend.